Hello, American. I'm Cameron James doing an author's interview with Mr. Wallace Davis about his book, I'm Black, I'm White. Controversial title. What's the book about? Why'd you write it?
Okay, let's look at the cover of the book. You see, there's a tree. The tree is a symbol of survival. It's also a bearer of leaves, of fruit. Even building things, houses, comes from the trunk. It's a survival. It's also a bearer of leaves, trees. And what we see in this is that humans are a bearer of generations, man and woman. Now, let's look at the title of the book. I'm Black, I'm White. How did I come about the I'm Black, I'm White? And what's the formula for it? The formula for it is used in the negative and positive numbers. For example, I give the white Europeans a +2, and I give those who were brought here to build this country a -1. But you put both of them together, you would get one group of people in the colony. Now, how did the story come about? The idea of the story came about during my childhood when I was teasing my sister, and my mother at times would make banana pudding, especially on Sundays. And I love banana pudding, especially when it's hot. Well, I went back to the refrigerator to get some more banana pudding. There were none there. I rushed in, waking my mother up and saying to her, "Mama, somebody ate all of the banana pudding." She woke up and she said to me, "Son, don't worry. The next time I make banana pudding, I'll make one just for you." So my sister was always teasing me and I was teasing her. This one time when we were teasing each other, she said to me, "My skin is lighter than your skin." That right there stopped me in my track. I didn't know how to confront her on that. I never asked my mother why she said it. I never asked her why she said it. But it resonated. And throughout the upcoming of my years, I would think about why she said her skin was lighter than mine. Then in the classroom, I found that light-skinned people usually sat at the front of the seats. More darker complexion kids sat in the back or in the middle of the group. And this resonated to me is that why is it that the light-skinned people are getting more attention in the classroom than darker-skinned people? And I started playing basketball, and I wanted to bring the ball up the court, and I did at times. But there was a kid that came in who were very fair complexion, and the coach opted to have him to bring the ball up the court. I began to feel that he was able to bring the ball up the court and get the job because of the color of his skin. Then when I started going out, going to the movies, watching TV, the program Lone Ranger was one of the favorites at that time. And I found out that Lone Ranger was a hero. He did all the right things. He beat up all the bad guys. But, yes, you guessed, he was riding on a white horse. El Cid, another movie, that came about during the time of my childhood. From Spain, he was a leader of his group, of his warriors, and he got injured very badly, and they didn't think that he would be able to continue fighting the Englishmen. So they brought him up and tied him together to a horse using pads and whatever, and taping his hand to the horse. And then he rode out with his men, galloping into the defense of the British. And they won the war. Of course, yes, again, he was riding on a white horse. My cousin was chasing her ancestry, and she had a DNA test, and she decided to find out where she's from and what her ancestry was. She found that she and her family, including myself, came out of the Cameroons in Africa. I began then looking for stories to write on this and to verify it, the primary source. And I thought that the good thing to do was to use my family. So in this book, I use my family as a way to show how blacks in the South suffered conditions that were not good for anyone. In the preface, I show how poverty was converted into a way of life instead of harsh treatment. In chapter 1, I coined the phrase survival of mysticism with social vulnerability as a scaffold for supporting the theme of the book. In chapter 2, the scientist Elizabeth Pennessy provides a study that shows why some people's skin color does not reveal whether they are black or white. In chapter 3, my mother explains the how and what to do when you're black-skinned and living in the South after the Civil War. In this book, you get black music is a focus throughout the book. Choir music, jubilee singers, soul songs, the reason for positive and negative rap songs, and songs by Michael Jackson. He has explained it quite a bit in this book. Matter of fact, there's a chapter on him. My favorite chapter is chapter 13. It relates to the school days of the 80s and 90s. Subliminal messages are provided by those who are in control of the educational process. The book describes how black music, social, political, and economic conditions shaped the behavior of black and white women, white and black men, gangbangers of our times. But don't forget to read chapter 11. It shows how good destroys evil. And I can say, go out and purchase the book. You'll be glad if you do.